knows? But there's so many of you here already. Figured I would start saying hi. But first, hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting life. Today is Sunday, Sunday, where I'm hopefully going to inspire you to sew.
He's a big fluff butt.
With me and the cat today. Not just me and the cat, it's actually just me. But, you know, the cat wanted to join
I'm here too.
because he likes strings.
I'm here too.
Huh. You want to play with those? You gonna look at me funny? Yeah? Your breath stinks. You have stinky breath, kitty. Want some? Strings?
Don't get him too excited in that
Strings?
stuff. Then
He doesn't.
Be trying to get up
He
there.
doesn't care. He could care less. He's like, why am I up here? Yeah, he could care less. There you go, kitty. Anyway, today is Sunday the 15th, and we are going to imagine the possibilities and create something with them. That's what today is. Imagine and create. See this pile? This is just stuff you can't sew by machine. People throw it away. Guess what? I didn't. And I'm going to use it. But first, let's say hi to people. Scott, can I have a computer, please? I didn't bring a computer in for myself this time because I figured I would be too concentrated on this. So let's see who's here today. Katrina, Brenda, Robin, Kim, Tracy, Donna, Melina, Joyce here for the fun, Susan, Marie, Dorlyn, Michelle, Robin, 100 Proof, Nancy, Debbie, Colette, Melena, Angela, Judy, Practically Creative, Susan, Maureen, Barbara, Karen, Maxi Doodle, Judy, Sandra, D, I'm still scrolling, TR, new, welcome to everybody that's new, Craft a Simple Life, Gigi Quilts, Phyllis, Linda, Karen, Linda, Val, Paula, Fern King, that's a new one. Welcome. Says first time catching me live. Teresa, Patricia, Colleen, Jill, Janice, Maddie, Sharon, Jacqueline, MS Jamie, Nellie, Karen, Jeannie, Susie, Dar, Vicky, Around to It, Amy, Shirley. Ooh, wow, it just like super scrolled on me.
That's because the town people are just going crazy.
I think I knew where I was. Yep, Gwen, Donna, Florence, JK. TR has seen all of my videos. Well, that's like 500, 600, 700, something like that. There's a lot of videos to watch. Must be binge watching. Let's see, Bonnie, Branca, that's a new name. Welcome. Tony, Tucker is here. If you guys don't know, the highlighted names are my moderators. They're in blue with a little wrench next to them. So if me or Scott doesn't get to anything, then those people can help you out. FR, Shelly, Shirley, Big Blue Dog, Alvita, Jim. Hey, Jim, it's been a long time. I haven't seen you. Miss Becca, Yvonne. Most of you guys are talking to each other, and I'm losing where I am. Okay.
You got enough.
Oh, you know, I did not make sure my bot was on. Is my bot on? It should be on. I never turned it off last time. Information.
Stuff.
Yeah, is it working?
Can I just say I will?
No, just the explanation point. I'm not sure if it's working because I actually have not turned my computer on since last night. Anyway, so today we are going to play. Okay, so I had all these for a couple weeks. I was cutting some stuff up and all these beautiful, lovely colors of the rainbow. Can you get the other computer real quick? Yeah. All these beautiful colors of the rainbow are not, they're like a half an inch or bigger, maybe. At some points, they might be almost an inch. So most people toss them or, you know, whatever. They're not really sewable by machine, but we're actually going to have some fun. So I not only took these scraps, but in my mail the other day, when I was doing my mail opening, there was, that stuff doesn't need to be on the computer right now.
Connected to it, so I didn't know what it all.
The mail the other day that I opened had some colorful scraps in it of the rainbow as well, and they're all the same kind of fabric. So I figured, why not mix this person's scraps with this person's scraps and create something? So I grabbed and pressed these, because obviously they were in a box and they needed to be pressed. And I also grabbed a piece of interfacing. And why do I need this? Well, usually when I make bags, because that's what we're going to do today, is make a, what's the word?
Bag?
A tote bag. We're going to make a tote bag today out of scraps. I always use interfacing on most stuff. The tote that I showed you the other day on my mail opening, I did not actually interface that. I used batting instead and quilted it. So it's a little bit different, but the batting holds it up. It stays pretty nice. But this time, we're going to use some interfacing, and I need this because it's got glue on one side. So I need glue, an iron, and my scraps. So now you guys know, if you have cutoffs, that you can use these to do the scraps. And I'm like getting shit stuff. Oops, sorry. You guys know that this is real life and I have bad words sometimes. Anyways, it should be working now, the thing.
You ever made a triangle quilt?
Yes, I have made a triangle quilt. So we need the glue and an iron. So today we're going to sit here and I am going to move these guys out of the way because I don't need them at this very moment. And we're going to work with explanation info. That'll work. There's lots of. Here's a list of your commands, Scott.
Okay, it happens.
Okay. So I need an ironing surface. I need my interfacing, glue side up, so that's the pokey side. And I'm just going to lay this on here, and the fan is not going to make this very easy on me, but we can't turn it off because it's 106 outside.
Is it how hot is it? Really?
Yeah, it's 106 today. And I'm going to take these strings that otherwise would never get used and end up in a landfill, and I'm going to start laying them on my piece, which these are about, I don't know, 9-10 inches, and I cut a 10-inch width of this interfacing, and I'm just going to start laying them on here. If they overlap, that is fine. And I'm just going to lay them on here nice and flat because we're going to have some fun. And I'm not really putting them in the color order of the rainbow. I'm just kind of laying them on here. You know, just having fun. And see, these have raw edges and they're like kind of frayed. I'm leaving it. I'm even going to enhance it by putting the frayed edges sticking up. So I'm literally just going to lay all these on here, and I'll probably need to make more than one of these because I do have plenty of these, so I'll have to cut more interfacing to, you know, make this super awesome. I already have that polka dot. Let's do a different one. I'm just going to have fun with it and be creative because this is what we can do with our strings. And you guys didn't know that, did you? You can totally have fun with them and be creative. And I also am going to be quilting this, obviously, because we don't want it to completely fray and fall apart, because that would just be a disaster. So what I have done is in the machine, I have white on the bottom in my bobbin, and I'm actually using a sulky variegated on the top. And the variegated sulky thread has every single one of these colors. So it's going to be sulky, S-U-L-K-Y. It's just a fancy thread, I guess.
Okay. I never heard that before. I didn't know.
Yes,
You were just pronouncing it weird.
No, it's this stuff, but variegated.
I like variegated. Variegated is awesome.
It is variegated. It's this stuff right here, but I'm using a red, white, and blue. So this is the kind of thread I'm using. It's sulky. That's what it says on it. So that's what's in the machine on the top, not in the bobbin. Throw that in the garbage because it fell. And I'm going to go ahead and open this. Mute that. Okay, so I'm just going to keep laying these on here until I fill this whole sheet. And the ones that have like selvage against the side, those I'll put towards the inside because I am overlapping by, I don't know, I'm overlapping by 1/8 of an inch on all of these pieces. You know, it's not like an exact, I'm just putting them on here. And it's going to get trimmed anyway. Some of the pieces are longer than others, so it will get trimmed. But this is going to be fun. It's going to turn out pretty darn fun. And we're enjoying ourselves playing with scraps that otherwise would not get used. So that's a good thing. And I'm trying to do two things at the same time.
Do you need me to move that? Is that in your way?
Nope, it's not in my way. It's perfect. Trying to mix up the colors as best as I can, but not, 100% confident it's fully blended. So again, this one has a really big selvage piece on it. I'm just going to hide that, and my next piece will cover that up. Let's put this dark blue there because it's wider and I want the width of it to kind of cover that. So this piece is going to get covered pretty good. Oops, my iron shut off just now. So I'm going to go ahead and iron these down real quick so that way the fan doesn't blow them and I can keep adding. I don't want it off. I don't want to get too hot in here.
I don't want it off either, especially when you're using iron.
Yeah. So I'm not using any steam. I'm just ironing them on. I will give it a better iron once I get them all on here.
Turn the fan down to slow speed. It's a medium now. Do that.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and slide this over so that I can get... I cut it 10 by whatever the width of it is. So I think it's 20 inch. It's just a 10-inch piece off of the width of this. I think it's 20. And I'm just going to keep adding until this whole sheet is full, and then I'll start another sheet or fill another piece. And I'm trying to mix as many colors as possible, but, ooh, here's a pretty pink. It's a very skinny little pretty pink, but he's probably not even a 1/4 inch. But I'm going to use it anyway because this is definitely fun. It's different, and you guys will like the results. Why? Because I imagined it, and when I imagine something, it usually turns out pretty good. Not to brag or anything, but it usually comes out pretty good when I think of things to do for this. So I'm really hoping that you guys give this a try. I mean, it's even shredding right here in front of my face. Ew, I don't like that side. We're going to just hide that one. Let's put this pretty blue there. I don't like that side either. We're just going to hide that. That there. Oh, let's put this yellow there. I mean, they even have the strings hanging from them. I don't care. We're just going to put it together. We're having fun. This is just me creating something different out of the scraps that we would normally toss, and actually I do throw stuff this size away. If it's not an inch, I usually throw it away. But these were too pretty and colorful to toss. So I'm definitely using them.
And how are you going to sew them?
Into a bag. I'm going to make a bag.
Oh.
Yep, going to make a bag out of this disaster. Fun, doing something we wouldn't do, going a little bit out of the box. You know, a little bit out of our comfort zones to be creative, because that's the whole point of this fabric that we play with on a daily, is to be creative with it. All right, I can squeeze one more piece on here and then we'll cut off another interfacing. And okay, let's iron these ones down. I'm kind of picking up my iron at first and then laying it on here. And then once they're like glued, then I give it a really good press, which I'm gonna do now. I don't know how many of these panels I'm gonna be able to make, but, and they don't have to go straight either. You can put them on the diagonal. Just want to make sure that it's all glued to what we can get glued, because we don't want it to come undone before we get to the stitching it down part, because we do have to top stitch all this. So all my lips are, the lips of these edges are all sticking up the same direction, so don't freak out. They're not going to fall off as long as the one side is ironed down. So here's one panel so far. Look at how colorful that is. Oh, it's a pretty rainbow. All right, so we're going to cut another piece and we're going to glue more to it. I only cut one piece for now because I, didn't totally pre-prep everything, but mostly. Okay. Okay. 10 inches, because that's about the size of my pieces. So I just line it up. And I can see right through it, so I can see the 10-inch mark on my cutting mat. Just move this out of the way. And I obviously, I don't know about you guys, but I do keep interfacing by the bolt. Remember, pokey side up. And just start laying them on here. Pokey side up, because that's the glue.
What kind of interfacing are you using?
Pellon 911 FF. That's what I use for most of the bags and stuff, yeah. 911 FF fusible. And remember, I'm not putting them in any specific order. I'm just laying them down. They're not in order of the rainbow, which makes it all the more fun because they're just random. As long as about a 1/4 inch of these gets stuck to the interfacing, that's what we're looking for. Oh, I should put a light between those two darks. Ooh, that one's got pretty flowers on it. Green. And it's so much fun because it's freeing. There's no rules. Ooh, pink. Gotta put some pink on here. That pink's gonna be barely sticking, but
Becca says, so you're using fabric to make fabric.
I'm using fabric to make fabric. Exactly.
That was a good one, Becca. I like that.
Yep, I am making my own fabric. Pretty much. I'll probably be able to get 3 full full pieces made, which would be cool because then I can get more than one project from all of this. And it's so much fun. Can you see me smiling?
Yes, they've all commented on your laugh and your smile.
Yes. I love being different, doing different things, having fun with it. I mean, there is no rules, so you just lay the pieces on here and go, you know? It's freeing because I'm not having to follow a pattern. I don't have to be specific about anything. I just put it together.
Would it fray on the edge of the fabric pieces?
Yeah, the edge of the fabric pieces are going to fray, but we're going to be quilting this to death. So it should be fine. It's glued on and it'll be stitched. So it's definitely going to have plenty of hold. Definitely going to have plenty of hold. And I'm making sure on some of these that the frayed sides, the side that is facing outward, I'm going to have to glue first. Just glue first and then continue. Just make sure you follow the instructions on your interfacing when you do this kind of stuff. Like this one is like 3 or 5 seconds. I totally forgot. I just hold the iron down and call it a day. No, because I'm not touching the, oops, man. I'm not touching, no, I'm not touching the thing. I flipped a piece while I was gluing. It hit the corner of the iron. No, I'm not touching the interfacing with the iron. I'm only touching the fabric. Only touching the fabric. Because it does leave marks if you don't. And I know from experience because I've, you know, been rushing and not paying attention and I've accidentally glued my iron to the stabilizer. Which happens, but, you know. Ooh, that's a pretty orange. Let's put that one there.
Lady says you have a good eye for color. When she does it, it looks like she dropped a box of crayons in a mud puddle. That's a good one. That would be me.
Look at that guy was a pretty thick one. Let's put a thin one next to it. Ooh, let's put this guy there. See, again, no rules. I'm just putting them wherever I see fit. Yep, I'll be able to get a third and maybe a fourth, and I'll be able to get 2 bags out of all this disaster.
Well, they said ironing a dryer sheet will take the adhesive off the iron.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks to all of you out there who said that before, I was able to get irons cleaned before more because, yeah, there's been several occasions that I've had to clean my iron off from, you know, ironing it on the stabilizer.
You are overlapping the strips, right?
Yes, I'm overlapping them by like 1/8 of an inch. Save that guy and finish it with, I don't have no green left for that. Let's just put a pink right here on this edge. That way there's plenty for the next one. Yes, there's about 1/8 of an inch sticking out on both sides. And we'll probably lose the end pieces because they're going to get stitched in anyway, because this is part of, you know, this is going to be a tote bag.
It's going to be a bag of many colors.
Yes, bags.
It's a song, right?
I don't think it's called bag of many colors.
Something. Whatever of many colors. It's like a little kid's color. Teach them their color, right?
I have no idea, Mr. Scotty, what you're talking about.
I'm sorry. Take care, Mom.
All right, so here's panel number 2. Look at that, so much color. So pretty, so pretty. All right, let's cut another.
Do you have a pattern for this bag?
No, I do not. I usually give patterns out as I design them.
Well, it's visual.
This is visual learning here, my friends. For those that are new to my channel and haven't watched many of my videos,
Verbal, visual.
everything is verbal and visual.
I don't remember what stabilizer.
What?
What stabilizer you use?
The Pellon 911 FF. All right. I don't know how many more panels I'm going to get, but we'll see right now. Put these in front of me now because I think this is going to be the last of it. For some strange reason, it almost didn't feel like the pokey side was up, but it is. And I can hear Mr. Meow Meow out there.
Yes.
He's like, nobody's paying attention to me. Meow. Yes, he is. I'm going to hide that one. This one show. I'm trying to line them all up along the bottom closest to me. You can do bottom or top, just so that there's at least one side that's almost straight to cut from. When we go to trim it. I am trying to pull off some of the strings that have been mingling in this pile with each other, like because they're long. It's because the pile has been moved like 5 times because I've done so many live streams since I've cut all these. These are just the end cutoffs anyway from 10-inch squares.
Would you consider doing something like this for crumb piecing with larger than normal crumbs?
Maybe. I don't know. With crumbs, I would just sew the crumbs together, honestly. I think it would, I mean, if you don't want to, you can glue them, but just remember you have to top stitch everything either way because it's going to fall apart and you don't want it to fall apart if it's not stitched in one way or another. I'm at the end of the pile now. There's so many little straggly strings hanging from everything now.
The lady says this would probably work good for denim scraps.
Yes. That would be fun because they fray more. Oh, wow, there's lots of strings. Just having fun, being creative, making a mess. And whatever's left over, I'll probably finally toss. Because there'll probably be a couple strings left over by the time I finish covering this one. Red in there. There's a lot of orange. Last green there. Oh, we didn't have a yellow yet on this pile. All right, let me glue these ones down. So kind of like this is a mix between arts and crafts and quilting. It's a little bit of both. And you can glue each individual piece down if you wanted. I don't think it is necessary. They stay pretty good. If you lay them out in front of you, you know. Where can put this guy?
You could use all of your decorative stitches on the machine.
Yep, you can decorative stitch this. You can do it however you want. I am using variegated thread for this project. Ooh, that's a pretty purple. It's orange down first. Yeah, and just so that you guys know, that bag sold right after the video. Yeah. Usually bags go right away. Bags are the quickest.
I bet your cat would love to get hold of the string.
He didn't seem interested when I first laid them out for him.
Yeah, it's because you were laying them out. You weren't, and he saw them up there. Then
all right.
Are you going to show how to
3 leftover pieces. What?
Book boards?
Yeah, when I have a little bit more to do, I cleaned up my room just a little bit, so I kind of already did all my comic book board stuff except for a couple yards. I've literally used all of them except for like 20. I don't even think there's 20 comic book cards left, so I've bolted. What I did was I took it all off of the foam board, all the ones that were on foam board. So like what I do every couple years is I end up using the foam board because I run out of magazine board and I just don't ever bother ordering it again. Well, we ordered it again finally, and I stuck all of the ones that were on the foam board because it takes up more space, and put them on the comic book boards. Just heat up a little bit more. All right, give it a second. My iron needs to heat back up. So I had 3 orange pieces left. Just gonna throw those over there. I don't need them. I do have to iron this a little bit better, but that's panel number 3. So much fun.
How do you organize your fat quarters?
My fat quarters are all in drawers. I will get to like, I guess my video will be room tour / organization tour because everything is in its spot somewhere in this disaster room.
Well, you were supposed to make a video and show them how you use all those comic book boards instead of already using them. Goofy. Did you listen to me?
Yes.
Jump in the gun.
Okay. These are all now stitched. So what I'm going to do now, I mean, not stitched, ironed, they're ironed, is I'm going to grab some batting now. And that's because I am going to quilt, no. I'm not grabbing batting now. I'm going to trim them, then add the other pieces with some interfacing, then quilt them. That's right. That's what I'm going to do. So we're going to first, that's what I need a long ruler. And I'm going to start with the side that's almost straight. Almost straight. And I'm going to lay this on here, and I am going to make it straight. And I'm going to make sure that all these pieces end up the same width. So I'm going to move that out of the way, cut all that off. I don't know why I was thinking quilt now. But no, I got to trim them first. Oop, let's lay this on a line because I want them all to be about the same size. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all going to be 9 because nine and a quarter is pushing it. Well, actually, let's see. 9 and a quarter. Is it going to go 9 and a quarter? Trying to get the most of it so that I don't have to waste too much. All right, looks like 9 and a quarter is my magic number. So this is just garbage. Okay, so there's one. Let's grab the other. Make a straight line on this side first. Yeah, you can, yeah. I think it works both ways. All right, so I'm going to line this back on line, and I'm going to get 9 and a quarter from this one. 9 and a quarter. There. There. I'm trying to do everything from the sitting down position today, guys. So I won't be getting up as much as I usually do because my legs are killing me today. It is not a good day for my legs. All right, there's panel number 2. All right, let's do panel number 3. And I'm kind of using the interfacing, what I can see of this little edge right here, to straighten it up with the ruler so I can get my nice straight line right here. And I'm just making sure it covers them all. But since I laid them all towards the end and they were all just fine, it gets pretty much every last piece. Turn it around, lay it on a line. My ruler is 8.5, so literally it makes it really easy to get to the 9 and a quarter. Everything's lined up. Okay. So here are my 3 panels. As you can see, they are shredding already. Pretty good. Oh, yeah. I come on whether I have a bad day or not. It's just a little bit more of a struggle, that's all, because they really do hurt. All right, I'm going to go with... No, I don't have fusible batting. Yes, they could use fusible batting. Are those long enough? They seem long enough. All right. These are going to be different, these pieces. They're not going to be the same. So each panel, I'm going to put a different color around. So that one, I have 4 colors that are this long. Then we'll get orange on one side, and we're going to put blue on the other. All right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut my pieces, and then I'll cut my interfacing and glue it on. So what I'm going to do is start by straightening up the edge of these. And I'm going to cut them all the same exact size. Kind of want to just use the dark orange and not the light one. I'm going to save that for a different part. I'm going to line all these up as best as possible. I'm going to cut them all at the same exact time. There's some odd shaped, but they're scraps, and they're from, I can tell they're from fat quarters. So I guess your next step would just be some fat quarters that match the bright and cheerfulness of your scraps, but you don't have to use a matching set of scraps. Obviously, you can use whatever you wish.
Do you do any paper piecing?
Yes, I do, but not very often. All right, turn this around. Grab me this and this, and I'm going to straighten all these at the same exact time. And then turn it, and I think I'm going to go with 9, 11, 12, 13 and a half. I'm going to go with 2.5-inch strips. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see how wide this is actually. 6. I'm going to do 3-inch strips. Why? Because this is 6 inches worth right here, and I'm trying not to waste too much. You know me. I don't waste much fabric. All right, so there's 3, and this will be 3 more, making it a total of 6 inches. And now I have more colorful scraps. This one, though, is more than 1 inch right here. So I'll be able to get 1-inch squares out of that. The rest of that, I will not. And it got every piece, so yes, it did. Look at that. All right. We're going to interface them. I'm doing everything just sitting here.
Anything I can help you? Hand you?
No, I'm going to move my panels. No, I have water. And I'm going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3-inch strips off of here. And I don't care that it's going to be in my seam allowance. I'm not cutting it any shorter. It's just going to.
Debbie says, I wonder what's in the garbage can. This was like the scrap cracker.
Yeah. 1.
That was a good comment.
2. Cutting 6 3-inch strips off of my interfacing. But I had gotten crooked, so I got to fix this one. Three. And I messed that one up because it hit the edge. But I don't care. You know why? Because it's going to be ironed onto the piece, and it's only missing 1/4. 4. 5. I probably could have laid them all on here and glued them, but unfortunately, I'm not going to stand and use the standing ironing board today. So, I mean, I could sit at it.
You want me to do it?
No, it's fine. And 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Put that there. We're just going to grab one of these and grab one of these. Stick it on here, glue side up, and I'm putting the selvage end hanging off. We're just going to iron these on. They're exactly the same size. One down, 5 to go. Bumpy side up. Grab the next. My selvage is hanging over because that was still on. That's why I knew that these were fat quarter cutoffs, because they are the size of a fat quarter with the selvage on one end. I go with the dry iron first, and then I steam it so that it ultra sticks real quickly like. You're probably not supposed to, but I do. I've never had a problem with it coming off, so. Pokey side up. Next. 911 FF, fusible featherweight. That's what the FF stands for. One of these first. And I always iron the fabric side so that they are nice and stiff, just like the panels. Because they're going to be sewn on each side of the panels that we just made. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now that I have an embroidery machine and I don't need to monogram on the machine behind me, my little brother, the brother behind me is still good for applique when I need a zigzag or a blanket stitch, or when I have company over and they're sewing with me, they can, use the Pinto while I use the Ferrari.
I like
that. Because...
Would SF-101 work?
Yes, it will. SF-101 will work. Any kind of fusible interfacing will work.
How big of a piece of the interfacing are you using?
These are 3" by whatever the width of the interfacing bolt is. And in between this wonderful section, can you fill my tank? Fill my tank, please.
I filled all the waters ahead of time, so I'm ready to go.
Thank you.
Oh, this is actually quite a hot piece of plastic.
Yes, it is a hot piece of plastic.
Holy Toledo.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, there's the max line. I'm sorry. I was going above and beyond there.
That's fine.
I was just trying to get her done. What'd you do? What?
My knee into the desk thing again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Big blue dog says you're dating yourself with the Pinto reference.
Oh, yeah, you guys want to know, my first car was a Pinto. 1978 Pinto. A Ford Pinto. So yes, I am dating myself. All right. Gotta stop myself from hitting. Now, here are the options. I could either do one of these and one of these, and then the next one have 2 different colors like this. Hold on, let's show you. Because I'm trying to have as much colorfulness as possible. And then say this one, and then the last one.
A lot of people want to get a Pinto as their first vehicle.
Really?
Good first vehicle.
Heck yeah, it was. Mine got stolen though.
And it was stolen?
And my Pinto was stolen. And the cops could never find it. And the funny part is me and a couple of my friends spent the weekend one weekend. This was when I was a teenager. We spray painted my Pinto camouflage. So it was black, green, shades of greens, shades of browns, and shades of gray. Just, it looked like camouflage because I lived in the desert and I can go out, and hide my Pinto. Because I take any car that I own off-roading. I don't care if it's 4-wheel drive or not, except for my nice Nissan. I don't take that off-roading. But I used to take my car off the highway and go out shooting and stuff. So yeah, we painted it. And I was explaining to the police, I was like, my Pinto is 100 different shades of blacks, browns, and greens. And you're telling me you can't find it. You could get it. It's hiding. It's camouflaged. I was so mad though. It was funny. Anyway, so like this, where they're all different colors and then the other one's blue and orange, or equals blue with blue, purple with purple, or orange with orange. I kind of like the 2 different colors. What do you guys think? You can see the other ones right here. Come on, right there. So
like that.
opposites or matchy-matchy? What do you guys think? I think I'm going to end up making 3 totes out of all this. I like the opposites, so that's what I think I'm going to go with.
Jim says mixed, Jill says equal, Terry says different, Val says different, Teresa says more saying different.
All right, we're going with difference.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do...
Different, opposite, there's one match, there's another match. You get more opposite, doesn't match.
I'm going to lay these on here, right sides together, and I'm going to stitch this down. I am actually stitching in the way of, see if I bend this, you can see all the ends sticking up. I'm actually stitching with them coming down because I don't want any of these to flip underneath or get folded. I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam, put my seam guide on there. I'm back stitching. I didn't cut the selvage off, so it's going to hang over on one end. I'll trim that to size. Oh, look at that. I broke thread. This machine is very finicky. It likes only certain threads, I'm telling you. I don't know what it is. It's always picky about thread. If anything, I'll just switch to the white for the piecing and do this one for the quilting. But let's see if it works. It's working now. And it broke again. Yep. It really tangled. No, I just need to turn the tension down. It's because the bobbin thread is thicker than the top thread. Although some people say and swear by having a thinner weight bobbin than the top thread. But unfortunately, for me, that doesn't work.
What brand does your machine prefer?
Off-brand stuff. Anything that's not a name brand thread. It's the weirdest thing.
I think they try sewing slower. I don't know if that's possible for you.
Yeah, I can't sew slow. I've tried. All right, that one's on there. I'll press that soon. Let me just get the other side on here. I'm gonna put that on here and I'm gonna sew down this way.
What do you do with 1-inch squares?
1-inch squares, I sew them together and make tiny stuff, which you see on my walls. I have lots of tiny stuff because I like using small pieces. And it broke again. Really not happy. My test stitching came out fine too. The weirdest thing. That's okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep threading the machine. I'm going to keep trying. And until I have to kind in. There we go. I sewed slow. Are you happy? No, just kidding. All right. So both sides are on. They just need to be pressed. Obviously, I'll get that in a minute. Let's get the rest of these on here. I'm going to put this guy on first, that guy second. I'm trying to be very careful, even though they're glued. I still don't want them to come undone. I'm not trying to pull anything off, because you can rip it off the glue quite easily. Put my pedal closer to me. It was a dark blue originally. Yep. Yep, mine was dark blue. The Ford blue color that they made everything in back then.
Is your tension knob on the top turn easy?
Yeah, my tension knobs turn amazingly easily. I heard that snap. Like, sewing slow is not happening. I'm changing the tension dial as I do this, guys. Which is only, it's not really that bad. It's slightly poking through. Not horrible. Not horrible, but not great. That's fine until I can complete this project. As long as my top stitching, I'm just going to roll a bobbin when I top stitch everything of the sulky and use both that on the top and the bobbin. I might have to adjust the tension for it. It is quite the thinner thread. I think it's like 60 weight. Is it 60? Oh no, it's 40. Seems thin for a 40. But this thread, Aurifil thread, Signature, you name it, they all don't like my machine. The Glide sometimes breaks. It doesn't always break when I use Glide on this, but it doesn't like that either, honestly. And I use Glide to finish binding and stuff with this machine because I usually quilt with the Glide. My long arm loves it, but this machine is so picky. And machines aren't supposed to be picky. You're supposed to be able to use whatever. But I do use whatever. I just deal with it, you know? I deal with what happens. I put up with the treble. Causes me trouble. Seems to be doing okay though right now. All right, let's press these and trim off the excess. Would help if the iron was on. These are gonna be adorable bags. And I'm not even done. There's lots more to, you know, do. Because I have lots more scraps. I'm gonna build on the tops and more on the sides. I'm just finger pressing this back until the iron is reheated.
One Moxie likes Glide, her long arm.
Yeah.
So we use in our long arm.
Yeah.
Glide.
Glide thread is what I buy. I mean, I've used other threads, but for the long arm, I definitely like Glide. All right. And obviously I will cut the excess off, and then we're going to grab some more colors and build around. That way it's a little bit longer to be able to be a bag, because it looks like I'm going to be making more than one bag. Because I was able to get 3 panels. So pretty. Once it's stitched with the variegated thread, it's going to look even better.
What kind of bag is it?
It's just going to be a tote, just a little open tote. Nothing fancy, very easy to do. No stupid.
What'd you do? What?
The end of the iron grabbed on the fabric right here. Got to be very careful when you're pressing if you don't stitch it right away, because the tip of this, the lip of the iron, just grabbed my lip of the fabric.
What weight of Glide thread do you use?
I use 40 weight, but on the embroidery machine we bought some 60 for the embroidery machine of Glide, so that I can do letters.
So What
the
color
black and
straps
white.
What color are the straps going to be?
They're just going to be all these other colors.
Okay.
I'm just mixing it all up.
Why do people finger press?
To hold it back, to give it a little bit of oomph before the iron is ready, especially if you're using a cordless. I finger press so that it holds it nice and flat before I get to it with the iron. It gives it that, make sure that it's back. But I also finger press a lot of stuff when I'm sitting at the machine continuously sewing. I just finger press my blocks back and move on to the next. I find it a little bit easier for me. That way I don't have to keep getting up and down. Because lately, finger pressing saves me a lot of hassle because my legs are still having an MS flare, as you guys are curious. It's the same thing that's been bothering me since I went to QuiltCon. That overuse of my legs turned into an MS flare, which has still been going on since February. That's the problem I'm having. And some days it's worse than others, but today it is off the charts painful. And it doesn't help that I'm having feet problems and so many other just issues. My body is just a pile of issues. But I'll stop on that now. And we'll continue with the crafting, the things that make us happy. One more side. And then we can start. I think I'm going to use the green. I have that green one. Oh, I have that dark red one. How many of these are in the long ones? Those ones are thick. So yeah. It's, I don't know why. It's just sometimes it happens and it lasts for months upon months. Sometimes it goes away in a week. It just depends. MS is a very finicky disease to have because you never know. It's very relentless when it comes to just making you feel like crap for long periods of time.
Does the weather affect it?
Not really. The warmth usually makes me feel better, but it's 106 today, and well, that warmth is not making me feel any better. Sometimes it does, though. The cold does affect me. My body does not like cold. Having MS and arthritis combined is not a disease that you want to be in the cold, living anywhere cold, because that is definitely a trigger for me. The winter time I do way worse than I do in the summer. All right. I just do. I'm a very determined person. I could be on my deathbed and I'll still probably be in here quilting.
Well, you sew to keep your mind off things.
Yeah.
Quilting and stuff.
Yeah. Quilting keeps my mind off of everything. It even keeps my mind off of things I'm supposed to be doing, like chores and going places. I don't know how many times Scott's had to come in here. Are you ready yet? Why are you still working? Let's go. We have to be there.
How are the spasms going in your back?
They're still horrible too. That's what's making it worse, I think, with my legs. I think I need to go to a chiropractor, but chiropractors don't like me. I don't know if you guys, any of you have MS or any kind of back-related problems. Chiropractors don't like people with problems because they think they're going to make it worse. All right. So now I have 3 panels, and that, to me, is not tall enough. We need a top piece. So we are going to go right here and grab, let's see what we got going on here. We got some purple, we got some orange. How tall are these? I mean, not tall, wide. How wide? It is 14 inches, exactly, on the button. Let's do colors that are not on there. So we're going to use these guys right now. And then these can be for straps for each bag. So here's 1 bag straps, 2 bag, and 3 bag. Those are going to be the straps. These are going to be the sides. So we're going to use It needs 2 strips. So it's going to be pieced, but that's okay.
Approximately how many bobbins do you use on a quilt?
For long arm quilting or for piecing? Because piecing I don't actually count. Long arm quilting I do. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cut these.
One lady says she a massage therapist.
Scott massages me. He gives me back massages. We're going to do, hold on, let's make sure I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What size are they? How wide?
These we're going to need, there's 6 of them. So these are going to be skinnier on the tops and bottoms. So I think I'm going to go with 2. And let's see, hold on. These aren't very long pieces. These are 11 inches in the length right now. So we're working with scraps that are 11 inches by whatever. They're all different. Some of them are wider than others. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut 2-inch strips off of all of them. So I'm just going to turn it all into 2-inch strips. Because each 2 is going to be 1 side, and I need 6 sides worth. So I got to hook these together for 1, and then cut right. You'll see right now.
And one lady asked if you can do a tutorial on how you make the tag.
Yeah, I can do it all tag tutorial. I've been okay. So
I made the tag.
Yeah,
I did.
I
made your tags for you.
The reason why I haven't gotten to the videos that I should be doing for you guys is because of my legs. That's the only reason. I've been getting my businessy stuff done and out of the way, but by the time I'm done with that stuff, I'm so pooped that I don't want to film. So if you guys haven't noticed, I haven't had any pre-made, pre-filmed videos pop up in the last like week and a half, is because, yeah, I haven't had no videos this week other than this and my unboxings of mail.
You're allowed to have a week off.
So just know that that's the only reason why I haven't gotten to anything.
But I made the tags.
Scotty made the tags.
See?
He made my bag tags.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, I thought they wanted to know for all tags.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they did.
For quilts and
We're
stuff.
making a bag, so I think I made bag tags.
All right, so this will get 2 sides right here, even though they're pieced. So we're going to go ahead and cut. This color is not on any of that. Will I get 3 2-inch strips? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I will. I need at least 1 strips from each of the scraps. Don't want to use scraps, you can just go with fat quarters. I'm just using scraps, and I'm sewing them together. So I'm sewing my 2-inch strips together to make 1 long 2-inch strip, which I'll cut to size for each one that I use them on. They're all different colors. They're not going to be the same color. The only yardage I'm going to need is for when I for my lining of my bags. Everything else will be made of scrap. All right, so we're going to sew these 3 together. Each of these gets 2 sides, so I guess I should just use another one that's a color that's not in, because these 3 colors are the colors that are in the borders. Those can be for like each bag to have a pocket, I guess. These colors are not. Just making 1 long piece. 2-inch strip. You could probably just use a 1 strip of fabric. So you'll end up with a piece that looks like this. Obviously, it's going to be hard to know that there's a seam, but I really don't care if there's a seam. Sometimes I like things that have no seams on the side, but sometimes you cannot control it because the piece you need is too much different in size if you're using scraps. You got to make do with what you got. All right, I don't need that one. I'm just going to hook these 3 together. All right. Slide that out of the way. We're gonna finger press this, finger press that, finger press this, finger press that. And this one I think I did already. No, I did not. Yes, I did. We're just going to give it a little bit of iron. That way they're laying super flat for us to be able to
Where did you get
get
your
the size we
rotary
need.
cutter? Is it more comfortable to use?
This is a Martelli cutter. This is the easiest thing to use. You get used to it. One finger goes across the top. Some people are scared like the blade's going to come through the plastic. This is a pretty tough plastic. I've dropped this thing several times. I try not to because most of the time the blade is open. But then you use your middle finger to lock the blade. So you cover your blade and then you just swipe it to reopen and expose the blade. The only thing about this cutter that I don't like is it does get filled with gunk. And you have to take it apart, take the thing apart to get that out all the time. That's the only thing I don't like. That's it. But it's not hard. It's very simple. All right, there's one.
Where did we get it? Do you remember? We didn't buy it.
We bought ours on Amazon, and don't even bother with my Martelli link in the description below. I have never got credit from anybody that's ever purchased from that link, and they don't know how to fix it for me. So I'm not even going to be partnered with them. Not that I don't like Martelli products, but there's no point in being an affiliate with somebody if they can't fix a code for me. And I don't know how to do it because it's up to them to change it. So.
Since you mentioned it, who are your affiliates?
But I have affiliates with quite a few things, with Fat Quarter Shop and SewingMachinesPlus and Connecting Threads and my local quilt shop down in the description below every single video. All right, so what we're going to do now is all three of these are going to get 2 different colors on each side, which will make the bag a little bit taller.
Are you putting interfacing on the top part where you're working on?
Yes. It just reminded me. Yes, I've been reminded. I'm going to cut some 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. I'm going to cut 3, no, 4. I'm going to cut 4 2-inch strips. Let's just cut 4 2-inch strips. And I'm making my interfacing go right to the top.
Do you like your cordless iron?
Yeah, sometimes.
And it is a Panasonic?
Yes, it's a Panasonic. I don't even know the number. It's like whatever.
Well, give them the up and down.
It's great. It's cordless. The only thing that sucks about this is it doesn't stay hot long enough to press a whole quilt, and mine's the metal base. If you're going to invest in one of these irons, do not get NI-WL600. Don't get this one. Get the one that has the ceramic plate because that stays hot a lot longer. This barely stays, I don't even think it stays hot for a minute. It barely stays hot at all, which kind of sucks. So it's only good for single things, like you piece a block, you press a block, you piece a block, you press a block. It's only good for that. Anything else, it's not good for pressing a hole. Yeah, it loses heat. You got to put it back on the charger, the heater, or whatever you want to call it, the heating element. Okay, let's put these on these.
Thanking you for showing how to use the cutter.
I'm literally going to, I just need 1 for this. I'm going to use my interfacing as the measurement of what I need for those. So I'm literally just going to lay this on here. Lay it right there to right. Oops. Let's just put it on top. Stay right there to right there. So that's how big of a piece that I need. That way I can iron it on to the side and then I'm not overly putting interfacing on my pieces. Bless you.
Another one.
Bless you again.
Thank you.
And they're all the same exact size, so I'm just using the 1 piece as the template. And I'm going to probably have to cut 1 more. Because these can all be one side.
You take out the cycling.
For my belly. I take doxycycline for my belly. That's the one I take for my belly. That's my belly pill.
Said there's supposedly a link between MS and walking pneumonia. Take doxycycline and your MS symptoms get better, then you most likely have higher titers in your walking pneumonia. But your MS has not gotten better.
No, my MS has never gotten better. It's only gotten worse over the years. All right, I needed 5 strips. Because these I can put together to make one side.
Oh, Elizabeth Collins said she placed an order under your link.
Okay.
Under your affiliate. I don't know which one.
That's fine. All right.
Say thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, here we go. I need 2. I need one of this, and I'm going to do 2 pieces. I don't want my seam exactly at the edge, so I'm going to go halfway between that, right there. I'm going to iron it on. Come on, get on there. Oh, wow. I'm not even looking. Sure, a lot of you here tonight enjoying what you're seeing and all my creativeness. We're just gonna snip this literally with scissors, and then I'll trim the other side off. We're gonna put this on here because it's the exact size I need for the other side. That's why I trimmed my interfacing to be the exact size so that, see, I'm not interfacing the rest of my scraps. I know you can just peel it off. People always tell me you could just peel it off, but I don't want to bother with that later. I just want my scraps to go in my scrap bin without it. All right, piece number 2. Let's do this guy first. I'm literally going like at the halfway mark between the pieced pieces together, because that way I don't have a seam exactly at the edge. I hate when that happens, when you need you're like short, just like 2 inches of fabric and it's like right next to the edge. I hate when that happens. I'm actually going from this side, which I don't normally do. And that's why I don't do it. Let's go the proper direction. After I get these on the bags, then I'm just going to work with one bag, because I'm going to grab some interfacing and quilt it. And the rest of the stuff I'll do off camera. Just thought I'd let you know. That way it saves on how long this video totally ends up.
You could finish it next Sunday even. Honey?
Yeah, I could. All right, 2 more pieces to add. Technically 1 and some scraps to make the length we need. There's where I want it. I still have to cut the other sides off too, but we're going to use this one as an example by laying this here. I need 1, 2, 3rd. See, I use up all of my scraps, everything. Hey, Mom. right, where was I? Right there, right there, right there. All right, let's get this guy ironed on now. Making sure pointy side is up on them all, butting them up to each other. Lay this on top and iron. Stay where I put you. Like it wants to listen to me. Hello, I'm the boss. I tell you where to go and what to do. I'm giving it a pep talk. And all this heat has made me thirsty. Okay, here we go. Now to trim all these down.
This lady takes a straight pen and swipes it through her cutter, then taking it apart to get the dust out. That would work.
I have these thingies right here. My little sewing brushes, my Eleanor Burns Quilt in a Day cleaning brushes, they work. Actually, my son Cyrus took some too for some of his stuff in his room.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Good.
he's like, these are awesome, Mom. These clean. I'm like, well, yeah.
That's good.
He's like,
He's actually
I'm getting
the
gunk out.
Truly amazing.
All right, so I'm going to put 2 different pieces on each of these. I am going to complete this by cutting it to size. I mean, I did cut the pieces to size, but I'm going to cut the other pieces to size now. Nice and straight. All right, so there's one. We'll put that there. So this is going to go on one side, and we're going to choose a different color for the other side. What color is on this side? Okay, so that's the light orange, and this is this side. And then I'm going to do the same on all of these, and we're going to attach them all. Since they're all the same exact size, I don't know why I'm...
What are the name of those brushes? Do you know, or should I pull them out?
I just said Quilt in a Day. They're Quilt in a Day. Sewing machine cleaning brushes.
I could have pulled them out and done all that.
Yeah. All right. All of these can be the same size now because they're all exactly the same size. And if one is off by like 1/8 of an inch, oops, oh well. Grab another. Just going to make them all same size. Nice and straight, nice and straight, which the size they end up is the size that your piece ends up from your scraps. But mine, in case you need to know, is 14 inches by 2 inches. 14 by 2. Because my other thing is 14 by 20. And one more. We're going to mix all these guys up on the... All right, so they're not going to go on the same one, so we're going to put that green with that one, orange with that one, and orange with green. Okay. So we're going to attach these now to the tops and bottom, and then we'll get some...
The name of this board is Quilters Cut and Press 2.
This thing sucks. Don't buy it. If you need it and you need an ironing surface, get it, but I'm just going to tell you right now, you can get these at Walmart. You can get them at any quilt store. See that? They come apart. I have hot glued this back down, both of mine, a bazillion times. This one kind of stayed flat, but it does bow in the middle. My other one, I don't recommend these. I honestly don't. Of all quilting related stuff, here's my June Taylor. I do not recommend this. This is a June Taylor cut and press. Look at that. Do you see that bow? Not only is it bowing, but it's bowing 2 different directions. And this surface up here, can you hear that against my nails? This surface dulls, it's not smooth, it's a rough surface, so it dulls your blade faster. I mean, if you're going on a retreat and you need something quick and easy, I mean, yeah, sure, take it. But when you get home from retreat, make sure that you don't use it anymore because they suck. I hate to be a person that doesn't like a certain product because everything for quilting should be usable. But this is I have 2 of them now because they don't stay flat, they don't stay connected, and they fall apart really easily and they bow and they never lay flat. You can stack 100 books on it, but as soon as you start ironing again, it's gonna bow again. So I highly do not recommend that. But if you need it, again, retreats and stuff, you know, quick and easy things, or you only take it for certain things, that's perfectly fine. But on everyday use, no, it's not. It's not good.
At least you're honest.
And I'm very honest about that, yes. All right, I'm going to sew one of these on the top and bottom on each of these panels that we have created. If I could stay threaded long enough to finish something. Really now. Watch. You know what? We're just going to go like this.
Can you switch the one that you have from right or left-handed? You're cutting your martelli?
No.
No,
it's only right-handed, yes. We're going to switch to my good and trusty off-brand junk thread to finish the piecing of all this. Why? Because it works. Sometimes I can't keep having it break. I'm getting to that point already where I'm already in a mood.
It's an hour and a half.
All right, one. Oops. Yes, I hear you. And piece 2.
You don't have to finish it all in one video. Especially guys who only take 2 hours.
All right, so there's that one. Let's take another one. It really doesn't matter what 2 colors I'm putting, but we're definitely going to put these. Oh, we're going to put these 2 on this one. Now you know why I use my trusty cheapy thread. But I will quilt, if I change the stitch length to a really wide stitch length when I go to top stitch everything for the quilting part, I shouldn't have a problem. It's the tight stitching that has the problem. And these are shifting. It's a martelli.
Scotty will explain so y'all stay. See, the handle is on the right side, my right hand. The blade opening's on the left. The left-handed one, the handle comes out on the left side, and the blade opening would be on the right.
If you're left-handed, you need a left-handed one.
That's the difference. This is a right-handed one.
Red is right hand, blue is left hand. So if you're looking for a martelli cutter and you're left-handed, make sure it has a blue handle. If it doesn't have a blue handle, then it's not the left-handed one.
Donna uses glide thread and her Juki and it loves it.
Do you use it for piecing? Or do you use it for quilting only? Because mine breaks all the time for glide when I free motion quilt on here. That's another reason why I don't free motion quilt anymore.
The long arm loves it.
But the long arm loves it, yep. Exactly. All right, now I'm going to press these back. And this one got stained from a dryer sheet to take off the... I didn't care because I don't like these mats, so I used the dryer sheet to take off interfacing off of my iron. So I used it on here so I didn't have to lay down any like specialty stuff. Oh, come on. Okay. Two side. Two seconds.
You okay?
My legs are numb.
Okay, well, I think you ought to cut it at 6:30 even.
Well, let me at least press these.
Well, okay, do that. And talk, but
I'm going to sit on the edge of the
I think
chair.
it's time for you to take a break. You want to switch chairs? I can get you a stool or something.
No, that'll make me too tall and my legs hang too far.
Okay. Just trying to help.
I'm telling you, it's one of those days, guys. I did forewarn you, though, before coming fully into doing my project, that my legs are not happy with me today. Since it's 100 and something out, the pool is warmed up enough, I might just go in there.
Oh, yes, they've all been asking.
I was in the pool yesterday, and the water was not warm. It was 80 degrees. For you guys, you're probably like, 80? That's great. No, no, no. That's shock to my body. 80 degrees is cold for my body. And then once I got in and just kind of laid there with the sun, I just was floating around. I'm a floater, not a sinker. So I really don't need a floaty. I can just float. But unfortunately, when the sun was beating down on me, and then I'd go like in the water, half of my body is not wet and half of it is because I float to the top, you know. And the parts that's not wet, as soon as I touched it back in the water again, because the sun was warming it back up, I was like so freezing cold. Yeah, I don't do very well with cold. It's almost like I'm allergic to the cold.
Okay, could you do this with small pieces instead of strips?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean small pieces instead of strips though? Like just small cuts of fabric, like 1 inch or bigger for this whole length, you mean?
I read you the exact thing. You do this with small pieces instead of strips. I give you what I got.
Oh, I don't know. You can.
Have you ever tried compression stuff?
I have compression stockings, yes, and I probably should be wearing them right now.
I wanted to
Yeah.
think that you have them.
The only problem with living in Arizona and compression stockings is I start sweating really bad. But yes, I have compression stockings because the doctor said I needed them. I have nice ones too, really nice ones. But, you know that song, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Well, that is what I feel like when I'm wearing compression stockings. I'm like, can I please just take it all off? Okay, is that both sides? Yes, yes, and yes. Okay. That is all done. The next thing real quickly is to make sure that these edges are straight. Which one was it? One of them was sticking over. It like shifted like 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just gonna straighten it real quick. That's fine. Another one did it too. Which one? This one. This one did it right there. They kind of shifted because I was stitching them with interfacing, so it stretched the fabric ever so slightly on the downside of everything. But that's fine. It's not going to matter, honestly, because it's all going to get stitched into something anyway. All right, so, I mean, this could be placemats right now. You can quilt it up and have placemats.
Oh, that is beautiful.
I would only have 3 placemats because I didn't have enough before. But I'm just saying you could have colorful placemats at this point.
That is awesome. I love it.
Yep. So here's 1. Then number 2. I still need to quilt them. And then number 3. So these are going to be bags though. So what I'm going to end up doing is going to quilt them. This is what we're going to come back next week and do. And hopefully my legs won't be
Do the side strips have
painting.
interfacing on them too?
Yes, all sides, top and bottom, the whole thing. And then I'm going to be quilting it anyway. So they're going to get quilted and then folded in half like this. We're going to be cutting out a little square down here in the bottom. We're going to be making some handles. My handles are going to be scrappy because guess what? I have 3 bags and I still have this amount of scraps to make some handles with. So they'll be scrappy, and this whole thing will be 3 scrappy bags. The only thing that's not going to be scrappy is I'm going to put lining. So I'm just going to choose a colorful polka dot or something, and actually, oh, right here, I have the perfect lining. Right here, perfect lining. Right here,
Oh,
bam.
God.
It's not polka dots, it's buttons. They are buttons.
Oh, they are?
Buttons.
Oh, that's cool.
That's going to be my lining fabric.
Scotty likes it. How long and how wide are they?
Oh, right now they are at, we only need 1. 23 1/4 by 14. 23 1/4 by 14. We're going to have 3 bags, and I'm going to be quilting them to death with variegated thread. But I'm also going to take some batting and run it through with the sulky and change my tension to stop this thing from breaking. I was playing with it before the video on this, see, my tension checker, and it was perfect tension. It was sewing on this without breaking thread, but this was a short distance. So I'm going to use some batting and test it, but I'm going to do that later. I'm not going to do it now. Now I need to go put my feet up or jump in the pool. Not jump, but, you know, fall into the pool. So next week we'll turn these 3 things into bags, so it'll just be a part 2. My button will be the lining, and hopefully there'll be enough scrap left from all this to get, you know, at least 1 slip pocket for each of my bags. My bags will, I may or may not put a magnetic snap on them. I'm not sure at this point, but for now, I really need to stop because my legs are absolutely killing me, and just getting up to get this was torture. So I'm going to go. But I thank you guys all for hanging out and dealing with my weirdness today. Again, when I quilt these, I'll just tell you real quick, I'm literally going to go up and down these like 3 times. And the variegated thread mixed with the fact that these are super colorful is definitely going to keep those from ever falling off or falling apart, as well as give it, you know, some texture. So that'll be next week. Or I'll quilt 2 of them and then next week do 1 on camera. That way all 3 can be put together at the same time, if that makes any sense. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget, if you're new to my channel, subscribe somewhere down below this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up on your way out. And don't forget to ring the bell when you do subscribe so that you can get notifications. Change that thing to say all, like the notification bell. Change it to say all, and you'll get all of the notifications because I make random videos. If you just change it to some, then it's not going to give you the fact that I'm live random times of random days throughout the week. So, all right, I'm going to go. Bye, everybody. Scotty has to turn it off, though.
Have a good night, everyone. Hold on, I'm getting here.